Hello kids, hello boys and girls, this is Dennis. I'm the right manager, and today we continue talking about mistake number 1 in project management. Last time, if you remember, if not, then watch please my previous video. I talked about mistake number 1 in PM, and this mistake is to have a budget approved before a customer has appointed a project manager. So he appointed a PM and he already has a project budget calculated and approved. This is a huge mistake. And I discussed how a project manager should behave in such situation and eliminate risks for himself or herself. And this time I want to get a little bit deeper and to clarify for you if you are a customer. So what are the risks for the customer, not only for a project manager? So the first risk, huge risk for a customer to approve a project budget without an appointment, the right appointment of the right project manager, is over budgeting. In most cases, the customer is not enough qualified to make the right project calculation. Why? Well, actually, if he did have, then he would not need a PM, highly likely, if he would have such competencies. So over budgeting, this is the first huge risk for the customer. The second risk for the customer is the wrong communication with the project manager right from the start of the project. And by saying that, I mean that in most cases, a customer expects that the project manager, the right project manager, will be fully responsible and accountable for the project. This is the wrong communication, and this is what is maybe more important. This is the lack of the trustworthiness. Again, I want to emphasize that if you, a customer, expects I, the project manager, will be fully responsible for the project, then I need to take part in this such important part of any project, budget estimation. Remember that, a customer. And the third huge risk for a customer by doing such mistake is actually downsizing a motivation for a project manager and the whole project management team. Why? He sets limits already. So I am appointed, I came for the project, and a customer says, okay, this is the budget, and you should not, I do not want any over budgeting, any overspendings in very many cases, especially today. I already feel the lack of motivation. Well, because I am an independent project manager, I am the right manager, and I want to perform my duties with the right motivation and the right feelings of full accountability for the project. Or in this case, sure, I will say okay, but in this particular case, you will have risk of over budgeting and I cannot be responsible for that. That's it. So, and this is very important, and you should keep that in mind, a customer, that you, by performing such mistake, you downsize the motivation for a project manager. Okay, guys, boys and girls, that was my lecture, short lecture for a customer about mistake number 1 in project management. And also I want to perform interesting thing. I want to ask an artificial intelligence about this mistake number 1 and risks in such situation, and let's see what ChatGPT will answer. Okay, so I'm writing to ChatGPT: mistake to set a project budget without having a project manager on board. What risks could stem from this mistake? Okay, enter. What has answered ChatGPT? The first one, inaccurate cost estimates. Okay, I already told that. Unrealistic scope vs budget mismatch. Well, scope reductions, quality compromises, project delays later. Okay, this is actually the same in my opinion. Missing risk contingency. No financial buffer when problems occur. Okay, my answers are better. Incorrect resource planning. Okay. Overtime costs, understaffing. Well, this is not obvious actually, but okay, let's accept that. Poor timeline cost alignment. Procurement and vendor cost errors. Why? I cannot understand. I do not see here a direct connection, actually. Budget rework and stakeholder conflict. Okay, yes, that's an interesting one. Yes, I did not mention that. Actually, ChatGPT is right here. This mistake can produce not only lack of motivation, which I already mentioned earlier, but also could ground a potential conflict between a project manager, PMO, project management team, and stakeholders, and a customer, and top management, key stakeholders, steering committee. That's a good one. Yeah. Here I give a plus to ChatGPT. But all in all, actually, 6 out of 7 risks, ChatGPT, well, gave the same what I have said. Even well, my answers are better, definitely better, because I have more experience, much more than ChatGPT. Actually, you should keep that in mind. So that's it for with this mistake number 1, I suppose. We already talked a lot about that. We discussed this mistake from the side of a project manager and from the side of a customer, and we also asked ChatGPT to help us. So we spend more than enough time, and next time we will talk about mistake number 2, which will be connected with the wrong communication in project management. Okay, that was Dennis, the right manager, and see you guys, see you kids, boys and girls, next time. Goodbye.